Hello, this is Paul Beauchemin, and I am a digital marketing consultant. And what I'm going to do is share with you some high-tech marketing principles for the internet age. So, most people in business have the mistaken idea that the most important thing to do is get ads or buy advertising, and that is what they consider marketing. In other words, they may have print ads, they may have radio ads, they may have pay per click like Google AdWords, Yellow Pages ads, whatever. And that is how they think marketing is done. And that is by and large the wrong model in the new age of the internet because people no longer have the time or interest in spending a lot of time with your salespeople. So you have to make sure that a lot of your marketing is done online. So the analogy is that the Wright brothers focused on a plane that could fly, and they became famous as the inventors of the airplane. However, there was another guy named Samuel Langley who was hired by the U.S. government. He was an MIT engineer, very world famous scientist, and he focused on an engine. And focusing on your advertising is really just like Langley's approach. It doesn't work very well. And you may move forward, but you really don't get off the ground. So spending money on advertising and ignoring your marketing funnel is like spending more money on your engine. You first have to fix the marketing funnel, and then you focus on advertising. Over the next few pages, I'll show you how to fix your marketing funnel. So this is the reason this is so. If you look at the world of buyers for your product or service, only 1 to 3% of the people that see your ad are ready to buy now. And this is what most websites focus on. Most business owners put up a website that is kind of a brochure style website with some basic information about them or their products or features, things like that. And the only people that really are ready to buy something right now are the ones that are interested in that type of website. Everybody else, 98% say, of the people that come to that type of website leave. And a lot of them will buy in the next few months. But what happens is that somebody else will advertise and catch their eye, or they'll find another company in their search for companies that provide the service or product they want. So you're spending your advertising dollars to get them to your website in the first place is wasted because you didn't capture their information. So if you look at this triangle, you see that maybe with a little persuasion, another 2 to 7% could be persuaded to become customers. But here's the big area. Close to 65% of the people that come to your website are educating themselves in preparation for a future purchase. In fact, we know that 71% of purchases for products or services that cost more than $1,000 begin with an internet search, and people tend to go to 10 to 12 different websites to do their research. So this is where the massive opportunity lies, and most businesses miss this opportunity because they're simply focusing on the 1 to 3% that are ready to buy now. And so you want to have a website that captures information about those 65%. So in business, we think there's 5 key marketing strategies, and you have to have these done, and have to be done in the right order. The first one has to be a lead generation website. In other words, a website that sells. I mentioned earlier, most business owners hire a web designer who's a graphic person or something, and they put up pretty pictures or sliders and things like that in order to, attract people. And they think a pretty picture, a pretty graphic is really what is going to cause people to buy something. We found this is totally false, okay? And what you need is a website that leads people through your marketing funnel and nurtures them and helps convert them from traffic from strangers to visitors to prospects to opportunities to customers. So it's very important to get this right, to have your lead generation website in place before you spend a cent on advertising. Then you want to spend money on other things like pay-per-click advertising or search engine optimization or other ads like offline, direct mail, radio ads. One of the things that's very interesting in the internet age is that no matter where you advertise, if it is offline, people are always going to go online to check you out before they pick up the phone anymore. Almost nobody just calls from a Yellow Page ad. They will go to your website because smartphones and computers are just everywhere. And so you want to make sure that you have that website right. Then you spend money on driving traffic to that website and driving your page to the first page. Why the first page? Because 90% of all the clicks in any search are on the first page of the search engine results. So you want to be on the first page. And there's ways to do that. It's especially true for local searches. Local searches comprise almost 40% of all searches now. So you want to be found for local search results. Next thing, once you do acquire a customer, you have a 30-day opportunity to get them to refer you. And this is when people are most likely to refer you to other people. And we all know that referrals are really one of the top ways to get customers because they don't give you hassles about the price. They trust you more. They're just better customers. And I think I read a statistic that says 65% of all customers in a business come from referrals. And so here you need a system, a way to automate that referral process in the 30-day window to make sure that people do give you a referral or are more likely help them do that. Next thing you want to make sure is done right is social media marketing. This is becoming more and more critical because there's review sites everywhere, and there's nothing worse for a business owner than to have a bad review on social media and have that pop up when somebody does a Google search of your business name and a bad review pops up. That can really just kill your business. You may be doing 7 figures or more, and suddenly you're doing nothing because a bad review pops up. So this is crucial in the age of the internet. And finally, what we know is that past customers are a critical source, a gold mine really of potential leads and referrals. And even though most businesses know that 65% or more of their business comes from referrals, 85% do not have an orchestrated referral system. And so they are missing out. You may be in business for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and have hundreds or thousands of customers. How often do you stay in contact with those people? You know, if you stay in contact with them and have an orchestrated referral system, you could literally double your business overnight if you've been in business for any length of time. So these are the 5 key strategies that are critical for marketing, and they have to be done in the right order. So when I talk about a website that sells, people like in the dating world, if you meet a new person, you don't instantly walk over to them and say, "Will you marry me?" You've got to go through a long process of building trust, getting to know them, knowing if they're likable, and before you can ever pop that question. Because people buy from you because they know you, like you, and trust you, okay? Those are the 3 reasons people will buy from you. And you have to, when you drive traffic to your website from whatever advertising medium, you have to put people through a nurturing process when you do that. So first, in the funnel, you have to attract traffic by some means, and that could be pay-per-click, could be SEO, could be offline advertising, any number of ways to get people to your website. But then it's very important on your website to capture the names and email addresses of people that visit you. I mentioned earlier, less than 3%, more likely 1% of the people that come to your website are ready to call you right now. So unless you capture the names and email addresses of the people that come, those people are lost to you, and that advertising dollars that drove them to your website is completely lost to you. So what you want to do is you want to offer them something of value in exchange for the basic contact information. This is a lead, and you can do this by putting an opt-in form into your homepage. Right near the top is ideal, where you can capture the names and email addresses of people and do that in exchange of something of value. And it could be a white paper, it could be a video or training session, it could be any number of things. It could be a survey that you give them that gives them some kind of result that is of value to them. Any number of things depending on your business. So very important. That's how you capture leads. That's where you get the 65% of the people that leave your site that will probably buy from somebody else. Next thing you want to do is you want to have a nurturing process, because everybody goes through this nurturing process before they buy. They learn to like you and trust you. You have to communicate with them. And the way to do that today is with a CRM, a client relationship management tool. And this generally involves autoresponders, things like Constant Contact, Aweber, Infusionsoft, or Marketo, depending on how big your business is. And what you do is you just send them a series of communications where you build trust. You handle objections, you talk about your expertise, you provide social proof to people. There's all kinds of things you can do in an email drip campaign to really help people learn to like you and trust you, okay? And then in that email, and you can also do this on your website, is you want to offer something of value that makes leads take the next step. You know, buying is a series of small steps where you just have to nudge people from one small step to the next small step by telling them what to do, giving them calls to action to take the next step. So it's important to have calls to action in your autoresponder, on your websites, all kinds of places that tell people to take the next step. Finally, in your funnel is the closing part, and it's important to learn how to close people, and that is something we also work with. And finally, I mentioned the gold mine of past clients that could offer referrals. So having a good referral system is an essential part of any kind of really fundamentally sound business. So there's some key attributes of websites that sell. One, using effective headlines. You have basically 2 seconds or 3 seconds to capture the person's interest before they bounce back whenever they click on your website. And they will bounce. You will have a high bounce rate unless you capture their interest. The analogy is like a newspaper. You pick up a newspaper, right in the front center of the paper is an engaging headline, and it captures people's interest. So you want to have that on your homepage right at the top, a headline to capture interest, to get them to want to read further, because again, you have less than 3 seconds. Second, you want to capture the names and email addresses of visitors. I mentioned 98% of the people are going to leave, and about 65% of those will probably buy your product or service from somebody else in the future, because somebody else will have captured their attention. Your name will no longer be at the top of their mind. So you want to capture names and email addresses. Having an email list is probably the most valuable business asset you have. This is something tangible that you actually use if you're selling a business, if you have a large email list of people that are targeted customers. You know, one of the things about capturing names is people physically are raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm interested in what you sell. Please send me the information. So very important to do that on your homepage. Capture names and email address. Next, you want to talk about the copy in your website. So do you focus on the customer problems and the solutions you offer, or do you spend your time talking about us, about me? And I see a lot of websites that say, we do this, we do that, or these are our features of our products, and this feature, this doohickey does this, and this doohickey does that. The best copy talks about customer problems, concerns, fears, worries, objections, and then the solutions and benefits that you offer. And that is really what is going to get people's attention. People want to know, do you understand me? And do you have a solution to my problem? Those are two questions. They're listening to a station called WIIFM, What's in it for me? So you need to make sure that you are talking to the customer, not about yourself. Next, you want to have social proof on your website. We're all social creatures. We go to a concert, we clap at the end, but we look around and we see who's standing before we actually stand. And so we want to have social proof. We don't buy based upon what we say about ourselves. We buy based upon what others say about our business. So you want to use testimonials and social proof. You should have some case studies if you can't get testimonials, but it's pretty easy to get testimonials. All you do is interview the customer and you ask them these questions. What was it like before you called us? What was it like in the process of us working with you? And finally, what's it been like since the job or service was completed? Before, during, after. Follow that simple formula. You can get great testimonials. 5, you want to have a friendly design and navigation. Too often I see websites with a million links in there. It's so confusing to try to get around. People try to crowd so much content in there, or the text is written in such small font, it's impossible to read. You have to recognize a lot of people are reading things on their smartphone. You have to have your text size large enough. And even a computer, people do not read a computer like they read a magazine or a book. They skim it for headlines. So you need to have very short paragraphs, some headlines in there. Make it very easy to read. And finally, make sure you have calls to action on every page of your website. In fact, you should have several calls to action. The calls to action people are ready to buy now, which would be call us today and a phone number, and that should be on every page. You ought to have a call to action for people that are just beginning their research and trying to educate themselves. And you ought to have a call to action for people that are, in the 2 to 7% that would be ready to buy with just a little nudge. So before we go to this, let's go and look at some websites that really follow these principles. Here's one for a software service. You see the headline, Simple Property Inspection Software. It tells you exactly what this is all about. And then there's a subheadline, SnapInspect lets you inspect properties, create beautiful reports, and deliver them to your cell phone using your cell phone tablet. Pretty much tells you what it is it's about and says, oh, wow, this is something I'd be interested in. And notice the copy down here. It talks about the benefits, save time, inspect better. Doesn't talk a bit about the features. Doesn't talk about the company. There's no about us up here at all. It's a simple call to action. Do a test inspection and report now. And if you click on that, you'll have to put in your name and email addresses to get that information. In fact, I think you have to put in more than your name and email address. They also have a link up here for happy customers, and they have, many of their clients here that show, social proof. But if you look here, they have some social proof here with these logos. They have some customer testimonials. And, if you look down here in the copy, all you read about is benefits. You don't read anything about the features of the thing. Who knows how it works, okay? They're talking about benefits. They're talking about results. They're talking about social proof. It's all about that, okay? Very, very good website. Excellent copy. This is one of the outstanding examples. There's another website for dentures. The headline's a little bit weak, Extraordinary Denture Services, but they've got these 3 calls to action now. Watch now, and basically watching people talk about, one of the primary concerns of people that have dentures obviously is being able to eat things like steak. So there's a video about that, and that's what this video is here. Then there's the next call to action, book an appointment, and then find a clinic. So you've got 3 calls to action, very simple, not a lot of links. There are some links that are kind of not obvious, so they don't have you walking around. It makes it very simple, step by step. Here's one on 3D mailing. When you click on this link, the first thing you do is they have a lead capture box right here where they offer something of value to get your free book, and they want you to put in your name and email address. Okay, before you can even get to the page, they are trying to capture your leads. And then when you do get there, you've got a headline: your direct mail open and read, guaranteed. Very simple USP. And then claim your free book here, a simple call to action. Okay, get your free book. So very, very simple call to action. Then they have video success stories, testimonials. These are examples of really good sites, okay, that are really doing what I talk about and very, very successful. So these problems are costing you money, okay, but they can be fixed. And what we'd like to do is offer you a free consultation. Now, we don't have a sales pitch. We don't do business that way. What we do is we ask you a series of questions about your marketing funnel. And we'll go through the whole marketing funnel in about 30 minutes. We'll ask you some questions about some key critical numbers that you should know about, and we'll find out if you know them or not. And at the end of it, we'll have at least 3 ideas that you can use to improve your marketing funnel. And I guarantee you this will be worth at least 1 new client for you within the next 30 days. It's absolutely free. And the way to get this is to call me right now, 888-344-0434, or you can email me, paul@verdadcara.com. Or if you're looking at this video online, which you probably are, there's a booking system below the video where you can schedule a 30-minute consultation, 30-minute discussion with us. Again, it's no obligation, no sales pitch, just a way for us to provide value to you. And at the end of it, you will have something of real value. Look forward to hearing from you. Call us today, 888-344-0434.